Tonight, $5.5 million paid out so far.
The church, through generations here in the North Country, has seen some serious sinfulness and terrible misconduct by its clergy.
We hear from the bishop tonight after the Diocese of Ogdensburg reports 37 victims of clergy sexual abuse have been compensated. Also, another company intends to submit an offer to buy Carthage Specialty Paperboard. And an accused murderer says his right to a speedy trial has been violated and his case should be thrown out.
You're watching the North Country's news station. 7 News this evening starts now. Live from downtown Watertown, here's Jeff Cole.
Good evening. The Diocese of Ogdensburg pays out nearly $5.5 million to victims of clergy sex abuse. It also considers naming priests who abuse children and vulnerable adults. 7 News reporter Keith Benman has our top story.
It's the fullest accounting yet. A report on settlements with 37 victims of clergy sexual abuse in the Diocese of Ogdensburg. The almost $5.5 million paid out comes on top of $750,000 previously paid out.
It was the right thing to do, another way of expressing our sorrow and regret over what had happened.
The report outlines the results of a 7-month reconciliation process. The payments were part of it. The diocese says church collections would not be used for the payments.
The church, through generations here in the North Country, has seen some serious sinfulness and terrible misconduct by its clergy.
The sexual abuse stretches back 70 years. 11 more credible reports of abuse were received during the reconciliation process. In a sign of hope, there have been no reports of any abuse occurring in the last 20 years. This report represents a milestone for the diocese, but it in no way represents a conclusion. The bishop told me they are constantly assessing their practices and their policies when it comes to child protection. The diocese is now considering possibly revealing the names of clergy accused of sexual abuse. That would go against its long-standing policy.
I want to be fair, and I want to make sure that that I'm just toward all involved.
All Catholic dioceses in the state are under investigation by New York's Attorney General. Ogdensburg and other dioceses have had records subpoenaed. Bishop LaValle said they are cooperating. Keith Benman, 7 News.
Justin Scoville pleaded not guilty at his arraignment at St. Lawrence County Court today. Scoville is accused of breaking into an apartment on Willow Street in Messina, stealing painkillers and beating 3 men with a baseball bat. District Attorney Gary Pasqua argued Scoville's 2 prior felony convictions make him a flight risk. Scoville was sent back to county jail with no bail set. Another company plans to make an offer to buy a West Carthage paper mill, and it vows to keep the mill open. 7 News reporter Aaron Bischoff live in studio tonight. Aaron, what is this company?
Jeff, it's a family-owned company out of Pennsylvania that has been in business for 20 years. It currently operates 2 recycled paper mills and 5 converting plants in 6 different states. And now it wants Carthage Specialty Paperboard to be the next in its portfolio. The president and CEO of Ox Industries, Kevin Hayward, says his company intends to buy Carthage Specialty Paperboard. In an email, he says Ox is not looking for public funding or taxpayer assistance, and that his offer will be superior to the other one on the table by Human Capital Investments, a company in Washington state. Hayward tells 7 News Ox would keep this mill in West Carthage running with the union workforce, that Ox would invest in capital equipment needs and repairs immediately, and refocus the mill strategy. And he says his company is good with that, telling us Ox has a proven track record of saving recycled paper mills and repurposing those facilities. Carthage would be the 5th time Ox has saved jobs and invested in the workforce and the local communities in the last 10 years. The other offer from Human Capital Investments would create a new company, Long Falls Paperboard. It too would keep the mill running and make improvements and possibly expand by adding another 30 to 40 jobs at the now closed James River Mill in Carthage. Carthage Specialty Paperboard declared bankruptcy at the end of February. The current management wanted to try and buy the business back, but the management couldn't secure the financing. The two companies will be part of an auction which will happen late next week. Other companies which may be interested in buying the mill have to submit their offer to the bankruptcy court by this Friday. Jeff?
Aaron Bischoff live in studio. Thank you. The alleged killer of Lacey Eckel wants his case dismissed. Christopher Hebert's defense says the 4-year gap between the alleged murder and his indictment violates his right to a speedy trial. A motion the defense filed says prosecutors had evidence 4 years ago that they could have used for an indictment. District Attorney Gary Pasqua tells the judge it wasn't until last year that prosecutors had enough evidence to go to a grand jury. That's when someone wearing a wire recorded Hebert in state prison.
Until the middle of 2017, there was not enough evidence to charge Mr. Hebert at that time.
The body of 25-year-old Lacey Eckel was found in the Messina Industrial Park in August of 2014. We are hearing from more people tonight who knew the Watertown couple who died in that limousine wreck which killed 20 people near Albany over the weekend. 7 News reporter Garrett Domblewski has more on that.
Mary and Rob Dyson are being remembered by friends and neighbors as people process the devastating limousine crash that happened over the weekend. Dustin Currier worked with Rob for more than 10 years, most recently at Stebbins Engineering in Watertown.
Yeah, I don't know as I'd ever met anybody that didn't like Rob. He was one of those guys that you got to know him and you could just tell immediately, hey, this is a great guy.
Currier says Rob was quiet, but when you got to know him, he was the kind of guy you just wanted to be around. Smart, funny, and dependable.
The Dysons lived in this Watertown neighborhood close to Thompson Park. A woman who lived next door to them says they were good neighbors, friendly. They'd lend you their tools, and their sons played together.
Mary and Rob's son Isaac is almost 3 years old.
I really hope that someday his son hears from everybody just how wonderful his parents were, because they were that type of people. You just love them from the beginning.
Police have an open criminal investigation into the company that owned the limo involved in the deadly accident. Another vigil is set for Wednesday night in Schoharie at a school near where the crash happened. And Governor Cuomo has directed that flags be flown at half-staff on Thursday. Garrett Domblewski, 7 News.
And an outpouring of support for the family involved in that crash, but also a reminder tonight that you need to be careful when donating online. This is a Facebook fundraiser that Jamie Ecker posted. Ecker tells us she is a friend of the King family, which includes Mary Dyson and her 3 sisters who were killed in that crash. Already within 2 days, it has raised $250,000. But with that kind of success, Ecker tells 7 News that she has received word from some people online that scammers are trying to take advantage by setting up fake fundraisers, copying her picture and asking for things like Amazon gift cards. Ecker says she wants to warn people about potential scams. Her plan is to close her own Facebook fundraiser before midnight tonight and has been working out the details to give the $250,000 to the King family. A 2-vehicle crash in the town of Adams left part of a road closed today. Here are pictures from late this morning. That's the intersection of Route 177 and Fuller Road. A witness says one car pulled out into the intersection too soon. State police say no one was hurt. Both cars were towed away. A Watertown convenience store needs repairs after a car veered into a trash can and then shattered a glass door at the Valero on Arsenal Street. The elderly driver told 7 News that her foot slipped off the brake and onto the gas pedal. Nobody was hurt. The store remained open. Time for a check on the forecast, and it was a warm day out there. And where did things end up, John?
Looks like we tied a record, Jeff. It was very warm, like you said, and it's going to continue that warm trend overnight tonight and tomorrow as well. Let's get right to the numbers. 81 degrees a couple of hours ago, tying the old record set all the way back in 1949. Checking out the maps, the satellite and Doppler radar. Brought to you by Forkey Auto and Trailer Sales. Check out their website at forkeyauto.com. A couple of blips on the radar earlier this afternoon, but outside right now, not too much happening, just some passing clouds and a slight chance of a shower over the next couple of hours or so. With all that being said, notice your temperatures not falling all that much tonight. I think we'll bottom out right around 68 degrees by tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. A little bit cooler in some spots, and a touch warmer in others with just some passing clouds and a slight chance of a shower over the next few hours. Tomorrow looking warm and a tad bit muggy as well. We'll talk numbers and we'll also talk about that big cool down on the way as well. That for you in a couple of minutes.
John, thanks. And still to come on 7 News this evening, how did people spend the warm day today? Find out with us as we head to Clayton. And the IHC boys soccer team hoping to make some noise in the postseason. Mr. Mel will check in with sports.
From the North Country's news station, you're watching 7 News this evening with Jeff Cole. Tonight's weather with John Kubis. And your North Country sports with Mel Bussler.
First weather brought to you by Forkey Auto and Trailer Sales.
So on this day, it was a record-tying day for the warm temperature. We tied a record that was set back in 1949 with a temperature of 81 degrees. 7 News reporter Katie Benoit tells us how the heat helped people in Clayton enjoy their hobbies.
Boats are still in the water in Clayton, and these guys are taking full advantage of the sunshine.
Oh, it's a blessing. I know it's going to turn any minute now, but...
They're going fishing.
Oh, it's just great. One of my favorite things to do. I love muskie fishing.
The trio has been making good use of the warmer weather. Lou Jaffoon had a big catch last week.
The hardest part was netting. That was the hardest part.
But no matter what you were doing in Clayton, it was easy to enjoy the day.
It's 80 degrees today. It's beautiful here. I just want to walk around and enjoy every minute of it.
The warm weather also gives the opportunity for people to take photos of the scenery here in Clayton.
I took the most amazing pictures, and the water is so blue. And with a phone, it was like unbelievable.
It's a great time for pictures and meeting people. The beautiful lights and colors, a bit faded, and it's quite nice on pictures. Yeah.
The unseasonable weather helping people get an extra shot.
This one is good too.
To do the things they enjoy. Well. Katie Benoit, 7 News.
And it was beautiful all over the North Country today. We'll check out the forecast for tonight and tomorrow with John Kubis next.
Now, tonight's weather.
Well, it's that time of year. Those leaves are starting to change, and they look very pretty as well. Check out today's photo taken this morning here in the city by Jill. Love the colors on the trees, and I'm sure they're going to get more colorful over the next couple of weeks. Thank you much. Appreciate the photo. Of course, if you've got one you'd like to share, send it to me, jkubis at wwnytv.net. A couple of blips on the radar, but really nothing to write home about, so moving right along to those beautiful numbers out at the airport. Still 74 degrees with a whole lot of sunshine. Winds right now are calm. Look at the dew point in the very muggy for this time of year, upper 60s. Pressure right now is high, 3007. That pressure will be falling over the next couple of days. We'll talk about the implications of that here in a few minutes. Our low 70, our high 81. And there you see we did indeed tie that record set back in 1949. As far as the averages, we are well off on both ends. Warm outside across the board, 79 in Messina, 78 at Drum, and the same can be said in Lowellville. 66 degrees across the border in Kingston. Warm in Ottawa as well, they're at 77. 80s in Syracuse and also in Buffalo. Lower 70s in the Big Apple. Albany right now at 78 degrees. Cold out west. And there is some snow in the air. Denver at 36, mid-40s in Billings, 48 in Minneapolis. 80 degrees right now in Atlanta. Phoenix at 80 as well. It looks like 73 in San Francisco. Big storm system off to the west. This will have some implications in just a couple of days as a cold front moves on through in about 2 days or so. Category 3 Hurricane Michael making its way slowly but surely towards the Florida Panhandle, and all eyes on that storm as it has been increasing in intensity, and it looks like it's going to make a landfall over the next day or so somewhere in Florida. So we'll definitely keep our eyes on that storm, and we'll keep our eyes on our temperatures here in the North Country as well. Look at your lows tonight. In the middle 60s, and that's warmer than the average high for this time of year. Risk of a shower over the next couple of hours. Tomorrow looking mostly sunny, or partly sunny I should say. Just some passing clouds, highs well above average. close to 80 degrees, 78 for you in Rodman, 75 in Clayton. Chance of a shower in Lewis County over the next hour or two. Your lows in the very muggy and mild, lower to middle 60s. Tomorrow, a blend of sun and clouds, 72 in Osceola, 78 in Lowville, and also in Barnes Corners. Risk of a shower up north until, say, the midnight hour. 66 in Messina, 63 in Wanakena. Looking good in St. Lawrence County tomorrow. A little bit cooler around Messina at 73. 80 for you in Kent. Checking out the extended forecast, all good things this time of year must come to an end, and oh, what an abrupt end it will be. Now, Wednesday night, lows around 60. Thursday, that front sweeps on through, giving us some showers, some thunderstorms. Some of the rain could be locally heavy at times, a high of 69. The weekend looking cool, and it looks like Friday looking cool as well, 51 for the high and a blend of sun and clouds. Maybe a shower on Saturday, highs in the upper 40s, keeping it in the 50s for highs, lower 50s at that, on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And on to today's weather class question, which is brought to you by Gee Whiz Auto Center. Get all your automotive repairs done under one roof. Give them a call at 315-788-5555. Now, where does the wind come from and go toward the south at the same time? The equator, the North Pole, the South Pole, or the Bermuda Triangle? What do you think?
A.
B, North Pole.
North Pole.
Now, the only reason I said it, you just don't. I'm deductive reasoning here, sir. Is you're at least half right with the North Pole, because it comes out of the south that way.
Can't go any further north.
The mute
mute
button. Yeah, that's what you're looking for. Were you trying to mute the TV last night with that Yankees game?
Man, oh man! Too bad the Yanks didn't show up last night.
At all.
The bus must have broke down or something.
But they're saving it.
Saving it for tonight?
Maybe.
Yeah, well, let's hope so.
Yeah, you got some soccer to talk about, huh?
Hey, you've been looking at my script again?
Yeah, I looked ahead.
Yeah, sports coming next. Stay tuned.
Toyota Sports Report, brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
Now your North Country sports.
Frontier League Soccer playoffs getting underway today for the Immaculate Heart Central boys team. A chance to make some noise in the postseason.
Entering Tuesday's Frontier League playoff game against Indian River, Immaculate Heart held an 11-2-1 overall mark, 6-2-1 in league play.
I'm very happy with how we've played this season. I knew that we had a very talented group of players, as well as some experience. We had 15 returning players from last year's team, so I knew with a combination of those two things that we would have the potential of being very successful this season.
I think we've been doing well this year compared to last year even. We have solid team chemistry and we've been finishing well.
I'm really happy the way we're performing. We're doing a lot better with possessing the ball this year than we have in the past years, and I feel much more confident this year than previous years.
I think we're playing very well. I think our record speaks for itself, and I see us going far.
I'm pretty happy with what we've been doing so far. We've definitely come and compete in every game, and I'm proud of what we've been doing.
With sectionals on the horizon, optimism is high that the Cavaliers will make a long run in the postseason.
I think I'm pretty excited to see how far this team can go. They have the potential to do really great things. It's really fun to watch them play when they do play well together.
I think we could go far this year. I said it last year, I think, too, but this year especially with the talents we have.
I'm pretty confident we will. We should have a good run as long as we stay focused and concentrated.
We have lots of talent, and I do see us going far, hopefully to states and definitely to sectionals.
I think we should definitely make a deep run in sectionals. By the way we've been playing in the regular season, that shouldn't be a problem. If we come focused and ready to play, we should do well.
Immaculate Heart will be a force in the Section 3 Class B tournament beginning next week.
Well, as I mentioned, the Frontier League Soccer playoffs beginning today with the boys taking center stage. Among the games, a D-Division semifinal in Chameau as the Lyme Indians entertain the Lafargeville Red Knights. Lyme with the early chance, but Colin Miskimen comes up with the save for Lafargeville. At the other end, Patrick Williams, the save for Lyme. Zach Gutramont tallies the first goal of the game. Lime goes on top, 1-0. Lime scores again. Ryan Aubertine dents the back of the net, expanding the lead to 2-0. Matt Kimball then makes it 3-0 Lime, tickling the twine here. Lime goes on to defeat Lafargeville. Baseball's biggest rivalry gets the spotlight to itself as the Red Sox try to eliminate the Yanks in Game 4 of their American League Division Series. New York will be trying to rebound from the most lopsided postseason loss in the franchise distinguished history, a 16-1 drumming on Monday night, capped by Brock Holt, completing the first ever postseason cycle. The blowout was so bad, backup catcher Austin Romine became the second position player ever to appear on the mound in the playoffs. He gave up Holt's 9th inning homer. Alex Spanos, who used his fortune from construction and real estate to buy the Chargers in 1984, has died. He was 95. The team announced in 2008 that Spanos was suffering from dementia. He eventually stopped attending games, although Alex Spanos continued to live in Stockton after purchasing the Chargers. His oldest son, Dean, moved to San Diego to help run the team. It was Dean Spanos who decided to move the Chargers from San Diego, their home of 56 years, to Los Angeles in 2017. And folks not really big fans of the Spanos family in San Diego after he moved the team out of there to L.A.
Any secret for the Yankees tonight, quickly?
Yeah, keep the Red Sox from scoring.
Yeah, I figured that.
That's why I'm the sports guy.
Simple as that.
That's it.
We'll be right back. Time to find out what's coming up at 11 o'clock tonight, and Jeff Nelson has that.
Well, Jeff, there are now final site plans for a proposed new facility for Carthage Area Hospital. Town of Champion officials getting a look tonight. We'll have the details coming up at 10 and 11.
All right, and the warm weather continues at least for a little bit, huh?
At least for the next day and a half or so.
Weird to wake up at this time of year to have temperatures. I think this morning we were in the 70s.
We were in the 70s. I don't mind it one bit.
I know you don't. Incredible. And that game tonight, of course, look for highlights, Yankees and Red Sox.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's what I do. That's who I am. Now you try and turn me off?
CBS Evening News coming up next. Good night.